Okay, good afternoon. Hope everyone is well. So, let's have a look. I was just going to say something then. Okay, oh, this is interesting. Leg up, market is open. Let me just see if we get another push below that EMA. We didn't reach the low there. We had a channel down with a break. See what happens here. Let me just...
Order submitted.
Just in case. 2 legs up. I didn't want to take that one. I think the lower high is the safer bet. Lower high, stroke, second entry short. I don't think it's going to get it. It's just going to drop, isn't it, I think? Let's just bring this down a bit. See if we get a lower high. I don't think we're going to. Armanash, Scruffy, how you doing, bud? Leg down, pull back, leg down. Come on, have a little pull back. I don't like that. That is a bit risky. It's right in the middle of this. It may work, but it's just something about it I didn't like. Down and across. I'd have preferred much more of a pullback. It just wasn't strong enough for me. It is working, I think. So if I go a tick below, that wouldn't have worked as of yet. Now it may continue down, but it's just something about it I don't like. It's not very strong. It's barely made it above that EMA before it's come down. Let me just ditch this order a minute. My guess is it's going to get stopped out, and it did. Or has it? Yeah, it has by a tick. It's just a bit weak, that is. Something about it. Let's have a look. Yeah, it got stopped out by a tick. So that wouldn't have worked for me. So a tick below... There's the lower, so you'd have got 2.5 points out of that. It wouldn't have worked for me. It's a bit weak, shall we say. So 2 attempts to go lower. This may move up. It's hard to say, or we could get a triple test or a range. Richard, how you doing, buddy? My guess is let's just do something like that, I would say. It looks to me like it's ranging. So that's what I mean. Move down. We had this move down. Now I took a trade on one of my accounts there. I didn't get much in it, $60-70 just on the one of them. But that didn't come down and break the lows as strongly as I would have hoped. Now we've had 2 pushes down. This may it's hard to say. That could be a triple test, but that could be a triple test to go long. There are orders at 70 up here. That's what concerns me, that breaks above here, and it's nice to have that liquidity sweep before we go down. That's indeed if we do, and I can see there are slightly larger orders there, but there are also orders at 50 down there, so there's still a chance this could come down. I just don't like... There we go. There's the answer. Going short there's risky as hell because there's liquidity up here and there's bound to be. And this is a penguin-style trade. We have a break of a channel. We made 2 attempts to go lower. As it pushes above that EMA, you'll normally go long there. Now, just out to the highs, not necessarily continuing up. J... Well, yeah, I see. Well, you can argue there's 2 separate little things there. So you can argue there's something like this, 1, 2, 3 bars with a small break. So it's just one of those things. I do see people like Mac and Marco draw some odd-looking channels. So you could go there, or you could go there, or whatever. It's hard to say, but. Now we've had 2 attempts to go low. We've pushed up and we've bounced off that midline. And whether that means anything or not, I don't know. But I wouldn't take a lower high here because we've bounced off that midline. That midline's definitely played a part, hasn't it? How many have we got in at the moment? 23. Let's wait for a few more going. I want to have a touch on a subject we talked about yesterday. I don't know if anybody saw my post on the Facebook group last night. We were talking yesterday about AI, ChatGPT in particular, and I spent a little bit of time talking about my trading setup, and it's really interesting the feedback you get. So that stopped out for one tick. I'm still not ready to go short because we may have a second entry long off that EMA. It's already bounced a couple of times, so now if we get a failure here, that may come down, but my guess is I think I need to stay out of this. We have made 2 attempts to go lower, and then we've bounced a couple of times, so that may fail and push up. It's dangerous around here. It's getting a bit congested. Is it going to tick and push up? I don't know, because it's getting a bit sideways now, so it could do anything. Now, there are orders up here, which I've had for a while, but there are 340 contracts, down here. Now we're below that bar there. My guess is it's probably going to come down a bit lower. Trouble is we have already made 2 attempts, so this may just sweep some of this and it may push up. So it's just a little bit of a no trade zone at the moment. Someone just mentioned you like the triples, but it didn't get in fast. Yeah, that triple test just too dangerous. It triggered you, then stopped you out. I don't know how far it went. It might have triggered you and stopped you out immediately. I don't know, but okay, that's interesting. Nice bear bar there. Is that going to push down? I just don't like trading in the middle of this because it does reduce the risk of it working. Stops in and around this area are a lot more vulnerable than they are on the tops and the bottoms, so it may well work. We've you know. I just don't like trading around this middle. I've learned over time that it can get you into a spot of bother. Okay, let me just find a quick photo. Oh, I did get a payment approved as well. It'll take a while. What was I looking for? Where did I save it? Bear me a second. Something ChatGPT spat out last night. Desktop. Here we go. Okay, so I had a chat with ChatGPT. Sounds a bit corny, doesn't it? I had a conversation, an intelligent conversation with ChatGPT last night after some conversations we had on stream. Little Hammer, how you doing, buddy? Karina still your mod, or has she moved on? Karina comes and goes. She doesn't trade this style of trading. She trades slightly different. She does spend some time in a Discord. I think she has a Discord as well, so she does trade differently. But she is back and forth. So I had a chat with ChatGPT last night. I said what I trade, blah 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 blah. And I said, trading's been really difficult lately. Do you know why? And it came out with this. Why it feels hard right now. Since late November, the ES had stretches of overlapping daily candles, compressed ranges, failed breakouts, fast reversal, intraday, and so on and so forth. The environment destroys two-legged pullback traders, EMA continuation traders, which is us, and breakout traders. So it says down the bottom, your edge doesn't disappear. It just gets few A+ setups. So it's identified since late November. So if we look, where's that post I put on there last night? If we look at from late November on the ES daily chart, where are you? Okay, that's it there. So this is the ES chart on the daily. Let me see if I can zoom in there. So everything kind of makes sense, doesn't it? So if you look, late November, look what started happening. Chop, 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 chop. And that's where trading became difficult. Now you can see this generally nice, smooth move up trades, and I was taking trades all year. I looked through my records and I average 4 trades a week. And I'm pretty strict on my trading. Most of the days I come down, my wife asked me how I did. I said I took 1 trade. But I've been struggling to take 1, maybe 2 a week, and that makes perfect sense. You can see exactly from late November, and you can see what the daily chart has done. And as we know, the market's fractal. So what happens on a larger scale affects exactly the same on a smaller scale. So it's just nice to have some kind of reasoning or understanding behind why trading has got a little tricky lately, and why good setups, I don't want to say have all but disappeared, are certainly very infrequent. But you tend to think it won't affect moves like this, because obviously the daily, it's sweeping, but apparently it does. So it was quite nice. I had a better relaxing evening, because it's been a bit frustrating lately. Because I feel like I'm in the best frame of mind I've been in. I've got a bunch of accounts, you know, my skill level's improved. Everything seems to be coming together nice. And all of a sudden, we seem to have lost what little trades we had. So it's been a little bit of a pain in the arse, but at least that gives us some light at the end of the tunnel. It's not going to stay choppy forever. It won't. So it's a matter of time before things do. We get this kind of breakout and we either start to move up again or we get a decent correction. But hopefully before long, we should start to see some more regular decent setups. So clearly chopping around there, and we pull back. It'd be nice to get a little second entry short here, kind of that fits kind of nice. 2 attempts to push higher and more rejection. So let me have a look. Where's this 50? 50's been taken. Why am I looking at something different? What am I looking at here? Why is this chart looking completely different? Am I stupid or am I missing something? What am I missing here? Price is at 60.61 here. Yes, futures real time. Live, isn't it? What am I missing? Prices. Hold on a minute. Prices are showing the 40s here, but here they're showing the 50s. What the hell is going on? Let me just make this larger. Price here is at 42.43, which is the same place. Price on here is showing in the 60s. What the hell is going on? Can anybody see that? The price is down here. Am I losing my mind? Afternoon. Oh, you're just saying hello. I've been trying to give me some explanation. How you doing, buddy? I don't know why this is showing 6866 and this is showing 6853. But down here it's correct on the kind of larger blow now. Oh, that's flipping odd, that is. What am I missing here? What am I missing? Let's have a look. That's better, isn't it? 58's 50. No, it's still way high. Oh my God. Hold on a second. Okay, delay. Looks like the stream's delayed. Okay, there's some comments down there. Right, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, something's not right. Okay, so I can't use. So we've got to move down there, tempt up, see what happens here. See if we get a bull bar that triggers here. We may get a. Let's have a look. So I can't be relying on what's it. Now, you may argue there's a break and a matching high, but that's not good enough for me. Okay, it's catching up now. No, it isn't. We're at 53. Oh, it is. Where's 50 down here? Okay, there were some buyers at 50 there. Okay, so it's pushed into this range once and failed. Okay, it's broke above there, which is good. Leg and a leg. Now I'm looking for some real rejection here, which we're not getting. Now, I think there's still a good chance. I was expecting the possibility of two legs. If we look on the daily, it certainly looks like it can continue down somewhat more. So that was the move from yesterday. We pulled back above that EMA, but now we're down again. We're going to have liquidity down here and down here. So now when it's like this, you never quite know how far it's going to go before it turns down and moves up. We pushed down there, didn't we? We looked like we were maybe attempting this, and then it pushed up somewhat, but it's not got very high. It's struggling. You can see we're slowly making lower highs there, so I wouldn't be shocked if price did come down. But you can see there's bound to be some liquidity there. Whether it gets down to these levels, who knows? But this, I think it's likely to break. You would have said so, and that is around 828. So it'd be interesting just to keep an eye on that level, or having a strong push down. So 828, that's down here, isn't it? So I'm just going to pop that level in. So two legs up, strong push down. That's interesting. That is. My guess is it's going to continue down, leg and a leg. See if we can get a second entry short. So we get a lower high or something here. That's no good. So leg and a leg, leg and hopefully a leg. I'm not a fan of that. It's not going to finish right anyway. I'd like to get a bull bar that triggers and then to come down. Yeah, it's still a delay. It's weird that the main chart is delayed. The small one at the side isn't. That's odd, that is. Yeah, someone's just said it's delayed by 3 minutes. That's useless to me. That's really unusual, that is. So we got a channel up with a break, 2 attempts to push higher. You're bound to get buyers here, so I won't be surprised if this thing does sweep down. Majority of the orders are around 37 to 25, which is down here. Trouble is, this looks like it's trying to push higher. I'd like a bull bar there to trigger and give us a second entry short stroke lower high, but this looks to me like it's about ready to just continue down. So this is weird. I was hoping when this pushed down, this thing then was going to head for the lows, and then we 2 more attempts to push up. Failure here might not be a bad option. We have made 3 attempts to push up there. I considered this, but it's 19 ticks and it goes into the EMA, and it's had a little pullback, so I think it's risky. It may have just worked, but I would prefer... there's a new count. That bar broke lower. I prefer a second entry short here. Would look better on here. I was hoping we get this little bull bar to trigger and then we get that move, but we are struggling to go higher. Trouble is, once it starts to go choppy, you've got to be a bit careful. At the moment, it's still readable. It's not too messy that you can't read it. I was hoping for a little bull bar there to bounce off here just to trigger and then flush. There's bound to be buying around here on this line. So that will be a second entry long, possibly. And it hasn't triggered, has it? It is a failure, but I don't want to go short into there now. Not with that. If that was a strong bull bar, if that was a strong bull bar and we were trapping longs, then that might be a different story. But it's weak, and the bar's an engulfing bar anyway, so there's nothing I can do there. Yeah, it's starting to look messy now. Now, this is interesting. Second entry long failure, but look at the bloody size of it. 28 ticks. If you get that wrong, that's going to sting. Now, yeah, some of these bars are just starting to get rather large now. Not only that, see the failure there. See that second entry long, which is poor, and it's given us the failure, which is triggered, and this looks like it's pushing up. That's what I mean. When it starts to down here, all of a sudden you can be looking at one thing, thinking one thing, and it's doing the other. It's very trappy at the moment. I mean, you may argue, okay, well, in that case, triple test, let's go long there. There's going to be stops there. But when it's like this, it's a little bit more unpredictable. That's 20 ticks as well. When it's like this, you've got to be so careful. If that bull bar triggers, my guess is it'll hit that, and rush up. But because it's trippy like this, it may not. There is a bit of a stem on here, but there's bound to be shorts there. But that's what I mean. 1 minute looks like it's about to hit this and give you your profit. Next minute it's coming down. Absolutely, mate. It is messy. as I say, it's very trappy. You got the shorts there thinking, damn it, we're out. And as that bar gets back towards those stops, you're likely going to get sell traders dumping early, when actually it did manage to come down and you still would have been in the trade. But bears trap there, bulls trap there. And the fact that it's pushed up eventually into this range and it is finding some support here, you've got to bear that in mind. So you've got another bear bar there, which is now triggered and starting to move up. 1 minute they look like they're going that direction, next minute they're coming back. So this choppy stuff, trap, move up, trap, move down, you've just got to leave. In fact, while it's doing this choppy shite, I'm going to go and make a cup of tea. I don't want to get into this, but the ATR is quite large as well. Some of these bars are 20 ticks. If you get that wrong, that's going to sting your pocket. So while it's doing this chippy choppy stuff, once it gets below some of these and takes out some stops, it may have the momentum, but you may think that way. That breakout then that you jump into might well fail. So Armanash, you bang on right, mate. Too messy. We've got to let this go. So I'm going to be about 3 minutes. I'm just going to make a quick mug of tea while it's doing this. I might as well go now while it's doing nothing, and I'll be back. Okay. Oh, there we go. The things keep on going. Look. So it looked for a minute like that was going to work. Now look at it. So it's getting more and more dangerous, that stuff. We got a leg up there, loads of chop. I wouldn't be surprised if it pushes above all this. Yeah, it's going to target in this area now. It's struggled to go lower, so that's probably chopped out a load of sellers looking to this continuation. So now what's going to happen? Are we going to have a leg and a leg, clear all this liquidity? There's bound to be some there, and then a push down. It's a bit odd, this. We don't see this kind of stuff all the time, do we? I wouldn't know where to trade it, to be honest with you. You don't know. As we've had that leg up and sidewards, I wouldn't be surprised if we push above all this. But I don't know. So there's nothing you can do here. It's just too dangerous to trade. I used to get crucified with this stuff I did. You know, going back a year or two, I just couldn't help myself but to get into some of these. But you learn after a while, when you get chopped around, these things just do you no favours. So you're much better make yourself a cup of tea or hug your dog or whatever you want to do. I'm having some crisps or chips, as you US guys call it. Barbecue flavour. Big trend line bringing a lot of buy-in. Despite the momentum down from the last few days, yeah. Let's have a little look. See, look at the daily. I'm thinking further down. This is what I kind of got to the market about here, and I sort of thought this looks like two legs up and a correction. So I'm thinking kind of down this area. Where's this 810? So if I go on to the daily, where would 810 get us? I'm guessing close to here. In fact, not even close, I don't think. 810, so around about there. So, yeah. Let me just get rid of that. So you've got a bull bar there. So we got a push up. There's probably going to be some buying there, maybe holding it to continue up. There'll be buying there. So 810, that second leg I just marked could get down. That clearly takes that out. So my prediction for the day, based on what I'm seeing at the moment, I could be completely wrong. I think there's a good chance we're going to break that bar there. Whether we get down to here for that second leg or not, but I'm just going to put that there. And what's that? 27.25. 27.25. Which is... Oh, I've already marked it, haven't I? So there. Why can I not mark it? Down here. Have I locked something? Hold on a minute. Okay. I say 27.25. So yeah, around about there, give or take a few ticks. Whether it will or not, I don't know, but my guess is that looks like a couple of legs. If this thing fails and gets out the bottom, it'll go south. But I'm not trusting this to go short. It's clearly a range, and whenever we have a break here, we often have one the top. So I wouldn't be surprised if this break was considerably higher than we're seeing it. I wouldn't be surprised if we had a break kind of in this area, which is kind of matching which would get us to this. You know, often when you see these, as we know, you get a break here. We get one more or less identical this side. Now, the way that's pushing up, you can't really confuse that with a channel, I'd have said. Maybe, but it's a little bit too shallow me for a reversal. So I think this is just correcting and clearing some liquidity. So there's a measured move there. I've put this little bubble. That breakout there is more or less the same side, maybe another point or so higher with clean liquidity. So this is crunch time for me. If you're going to get sellers, this is the way to do it. So if I look on Bookmap, we've got sellers at 75, not a huge amount, 109 contracts for sale at 75, which is there. So 2 legs up, more of a correction, liquidity cleared, measured move, sellers up here. I don't know, we'll see. This is crunch time. If it's going to reverse, for me, I think it's more likely going to do it from this area. That's if it is. This is just more I suppose, call it analysis, but this move down followed by a really obvious clean looking correction and then straight again down some more. We did have another attempt to test it, but it just couldn't do it before the thing dropped. So we'll see. Russell, how you doing, pal? What have I missed? Chips are French fries to blows, right, correct. Bearing in mind, you American guys are speaking English. We invented the language, so we're right. Mind you, I'm still struggling with English. I am. So if this thing is going to continue down, this is where I expect it to do. That's if it is, of course. Bookmap's telling us there is sellers here at 75, which is where we are now. This is a little bit behind. This is so you can see the sellers there. So I don't know why this is playing up. Is it? I think it's stopped, isn't it? Is it completely stopped? I can't even see the play button. That's completely froze. Let me try it again. Yes. 76. This looks a little bit better. Okay, there are buyers now just a little bit higher. Sorry, sellers just a little bit higher up here. Right. So the trouble is, sometimes when you hit these sellers up here, more up here, more up here, and it starts to drag price. So who knows? Who knows? I mean, really, just with what I'm seeing on the bigger picture on the daily, this was kind of my prediction that it could happen. But yeah, there's nothing. I certainly wouldn't trade it. You know, I think if it bounces here, it'll reverse from here. I certainly wouldn't trade it. I'm not that confident. But just based on, you know, we know how the markets work. We move down, we have a correction, and we're down again. But we're bound to have these little pullbacks. Or whatever you call them. Inverse head and shoulders. Shoulder, head, shoulders. Yeah, that's a possibility. So it could continue up. We had one yesterday that worked, didn't we? I don't follow them generally, but I think it's certainly useful to know what they are. Let me just add a few extra days here. For some reason, it starts off 3 days every time I open it, even though I change it to 12 days and save the template. This is the main chart, and I still opens with 3 days for some odd reason. So range, break out the bottom, few attempts to go lower, break out the top. It's about the right size. Why can I not remove this? Okay, so let's just do this. Let's do the maths. So that's 12 points. And that is a fraction higher. So if we're just getting a matching break there, we'll see. I mean, there could be the start of another channel. It's a bit premature for me, 2 legs. I want to see what it does here. But we have got a bull bar triggered there. Now, I wouldn't want to be going long there, personally. If I took that long, I'd expect to get stopped out, which tells me it may come back to that EMA. But there are orders up here, so that may pull price up. Boston shish. German's not a bad language. Put it this way, the German economy is much better than the English economy at the moment, or the British economy. And how long are you going to hold that against us anyway? So it's just a little bit uncertain what's going on here at the moment, isn't it? In fact, if my history serves me right, the US used to be part of the British Empire. And I figure we gave you it back, so you owed us one. So that's why you held this at the back end of the Second World War. It's hard to believe, isn't it, that the British Empire was massive compared to... I mean, we're a nobody nowadays. We're a tiny nation in the middle of a big round ball. But British Empire, I mean, I don't know. I don't pretend to know a massive amount of history, but the British Empire was vast. And now this does look like it may be working up, but there are sellers up here. The trouble is, how far is this going to go before we start thinking about maybe it is? Maybe something. I know you are, mate. I know you are. I'm only messing around as well. I don't take too many things serious. I'm a bit of a wind-up merchant, if I'm honest. I love winding people up just for fun. Life's too serious. There's enough serious people out there, isn't there? Yeah, it's weird. You tend to do... I was having this conversation with Vladdy a few weeks ago. You guys call them elevators. We call them lifts. We call them escalators. What do you guys call them? The stairs that go up and down. I don't know. We call them nappies. You call them diapers. That's a silly name, I got to be honest. We call them dummies, kids' dummies. What do you call them? You got an odd name for them, haven't you? It's like relievers or something. What is it? I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on here. You could argue that's a channel. It's not the best looking one in the world, isn't it? Is it? At the boot. See, isn't a trunk something an elephant sucks water up? Yeah, you call it a trunk. You call it a fender as well. We call them bumpers. It is weird, though. We all speak the same language, but we have quite different names for so many things, don't we? So this hasn't got very far before it's already struggling now. It may, I suppose, price goes up, comes down before it goes up. So it may just be testing this line, or still a possibility of a move down. It's pushed up, taken some liquidity up. It hasn't even cleared this. It's cleared that bar there. See, I use liquidity more and more just for judging when to get into a trade. Sometimes you get a little bit premature. I like it to clear liquidity. If I'm still bearish, I like it to clear liquidity before I think about getting into a trade. That way you reduce the risk of you getting ticked out prematurely, only to stop you out and then go in the same damn direction. But it's a bit odd, all this, isn't it? I didn't expect this. I didn't expect that. I thought we may get up here and turn down, but sometimes I do wonder why it goes higher once it clears liquidity. But if you've got people trying to ride it up, they may give it a certain amount of time before they kind of give up. But so I got a small payment from Apex. It took about 5 days actually, but they're doing everything manually, but I believe they're about to change over to automated payment, which is super quick. Where's my email? There we go. I had that about midday, a few hours ago. I put in I got one of my accounts a little bit more. It was about 4,400 or something like that, 3,400. But I got a 1,300. I just felt like I needed a little bit of payment to start me off the year. So I always show you guys when I get them. Sometimes if you're struggling or whatever, it might give you a bit of hope. But I expect a bunch more of those throughout this year. So a quick 1,300. I requested it on the 21st, so it's taken 6 days. But funnily enough, I did this the other day. It still blows my mind how the hell AI gets this information. So Wilson Shush. Okay, so I asked AI a question the other day. No, that's not it. Apex delays explained. I typed in let's have a look. I typed in why is Apex taking so long? Okay, so there's my question. You can see it there, can't you? Can you see that? Probably not. I'll read it out. I just typed in why is Apex trader funding taking so long to approve payments? And it gave me this in about 3 seconds. It's a common frustration in the prop trade industry right now. While Apex trader Wilson, shush. While Apex states their payouts typically process between 3 and 7 business days after approval, many traders report an actual waiting times of 10 to 13 business days or longer as of early 2026. Here's the primary reason why approval payments might be taking a little longer than expected. Increased compliance rules and verification. Apex has significantly tightened its audit process. This is a new... They now perform a more manual review of trading logs. The 30% consistency rule, blah, blah, blah. 5-day profit minute. There's so much information here. But it does say what you can do. Check your page status on your dashboard if it says paid, blah, blah, blah. There's so much information. It just pulled out the blue. But it says Apex is moving to Apex 3.0, faster live transactions, automated rule checks. So it's amazing how much accurate information it's got about some random company that it doesn't really know somewhere in the US. It's mind-blowing, isn't it, really? The more you use AI, the more you realise how amazing it is. It's mind blowing. But yeah, I mean, who are Apex? They're a small company compared to the size and amount of other companies all around the world. You could ask AI about any single company anywhere, and it'll give you the insider details. How the hell it does that and gets it so quick is beyond me. Okay, so channel break new low. So I'm being careful about taking a trade here. Is this going to come down? I'm not so sure. I can gather. So yeah, it's amazing, really. But yeah, they're about to. I'm not sure exactly when. I know it's soon. I've heard. As an affiliate, you get the odd email telling you about updates and stuff. So it's going to be all automated, and it should be, really. If you look at people like Traderify, you know the rules. It's straightforward, and if you follow the rules, you get automatically paid, which is what Apex are doing, and that will bring them up to date. So that'll be happening any time. So it'll be super quick. You've got to be a little bit careful not getting stuck in a short here. That to me has got a clear small break and a new low. So although a second entry short may work, you've got to be super careful here. In fact, I was watching TV this morning, and there's a kind of a well-known doctor that appears on the morning program. He's been on it for years. AI made a video of him offering to sell some sort of medication, which was a game changer, and it was amazing how accurate it is. So AI really is going to cause so much trouble in a sense, ripping people off and that. I mean, as great as it is, it's going to cause so many problems. I don't know how they're going to keep on top of it, these, bank fraud and all this sort of stuff. Once you start getting that someone that looks like you and sounds like you, that can get super dangerous. Yeah, I'm just sitting tight here. My gut says it's more likely to push up above this. Because if you took a short there from the break, it's going sideways. I'll be amazed if it doesn't break above there and take, which is exactly what it's done. So that's the trouble there. Although that's a nice channel, you've already had a break at a new low, so you've got to be super careful. Okay, channel break new low, channel break new high. I wouldn't jump into a short here. I'd just be assuming it's coming down, but it could push up again. It's not acting how it normally does. It's a bit odd today, so the market could turn on you. All right. I'm not sure whether that's a channel. It just doesn't get me excited. Ben, how you doing, buddy? Are you well? It's hard to know what the hell's going on here. So, still got a chunk of sellers there, and a little bit above there as well. So, it may have another go at testing this. All good, mate. All good. I took the lower high, confirming the second entry 7 minutes before the open. That one there, yeah, I got into there as well on one account. It came back and hit me stop. Yeah, I don't think it was terrible. It was a bit choppier for me, but I did see some other charts. Some others took it, which looked much better. So, yeah, got a channel break, new high, lower high. It just makes me a bit nervous, that, which is why I did it with one contract and I just got a bit out of it. But and the weekly, yeah. I mean, we've got to move down, and we've made 1, 2, 3 attempts to push high. It's trying to push higher, but it's not going far. See, looking at this with a correction, that doesn't look too bad. And that takes us right down to that area where you would think, it would break below there. So we'll see. It's pulled back a little bit, but it could continue. Now there is a failure there, but now it's already broke. If you want to take that, you'd have been better off taking it on the engulfing. Trouble is, once we got an engulfing bar that's already broke below that, it's nerve-wracking. We got a higher low there, but the trouble is, because it's so choppy, it's just not worth taking. Yeah, I thought this was going to come down again, and it held, and it pushed up much further than I expected it to. And same again, it's holding up here, so I'm just avoiding taking anything at the moment. You know, I am aware that this may be a correction. It may mess around here for 10 minutes or so. You know, in an hour and a half's time, it may be down here somewhere, but until this clears up, you've got to be so careful here. I used to get into trades in these choppy areas so much, and I just used to get crucified. I don't even bother anymore. There are buyers there right at that midline. We bounced there once, bounced there a second time. Sellers up here. Breaking news. Israel issue a Iran war alert. US military evacuation of families from Israel. It does sound like it's a matter of time, doesn't it? I wonder how that will affect price. I'd like to think quite likely negative. Certainly going to affect oil. So your petrol's probably going to go up in price. I think I'm paying about £1.45 per litre in the UK at the moment, which is what, about $2? 72, just under $1.90. No, it's more than that, is it? Let's say 145. $1.95. That's what we're paying for fuel to fill your car up per litre. 131, really. I think I paid 144 a couple of days ago at our local garage. If this hots up in Iran, it's certainly going to affect the fuel, isn't it? What about 20% of the oil comes through that area, doesn't it? That's quite likely going to be out of bounds, or certainly more dangerous. Okay. Kind of looked like in a triple test. We've got to move down 3 attempts. The trouble is, we kind of had the same there. We had a move up, we had a bunch of it, and it could not get down. So I got trust issues at the moment. So although this looks like a leg down and maybe 2 legs, it may well work. But I just think it's too dangerous at the moment, personally. Does look like a leg down with a couple of attempts to go higher. Okay, we got max chart. Hey, bud, how you doing? So that's max chart at the moment. What's he got? Pretty much the same as we have. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's slightly different, that move down, but basically he's got all that stuff that we've got at the bottom. Same again out the top. Yeah, so he's not looking anything different than we are. Okay, so is that enough testing that top area? We couldn't get below that midline, so does that mean price is going to go up? Who knows? Is there any possibility you could share those custom tools from Mac? He has those behind premium. I don't know how I go about sharing them. I'm better with hardware than software. I'm guessing. You on about those ones there? Yeah. It'll be in a folder somewhere. Sling me a message via Facebook Messenger or an email or something like that, and I'll see what I can do, bud. I think in the stream somewhere in the description or something, I think you'll find the email or something like that, and I'll sort something out. If you are a member of Dan's Discord, I think you can get them off there anyway, just in case. Yeah, they are. Yeah. I think if you're a member of Dan's Discord, you can get them. It gives them away there, I think. Anyway, I'm sure someone asked for something or other a while back. Okay, if I look on Bookmap, there are sellers there and there. So for that reason, I wouldn't be going short here. You may think we've had a little double bounce there, a couple of attempts to go high. You may think this is coming down. Well, that may be the case. But Bookmap, I can see there are 2 lots of orders. There are 127 or 135 contracts, 119. Now, if there's aggressive sellers there, which there seem to be a few more of them up here, this thing may just go down regardless. But while they're there, above my stop, and 1 tick, in fact, if I stretch that out, well, right at my stop anyway, I would avoid that personally. Now, it doesn't always make a difference, but as I say, it depends. If there are aggressive sellers liking this and they want to sell this, price will go down. But while they're there above price, I would always be a little bit cautious. Mm. Yeah, I think Thomas Wade took a trade in and got stopped out. I think it was that one there, second entry long there. It's just hard to trust all this. It's one thing I like about Thomas Wade is he doesn't eye back his losses. That's a confident person, that. Yeah, he's got what looks like a channel up. That may be the case. It just doesn't look right to me. It's too random and too choppy. Yeah, and that's the trade. It looks like he took there, which is a second entry long. Trouble is, it's right in the middle of all this, so you just don't know whether, especially as we've had that move, although we've had a break, we've had two legs up, it's struggling to go anywhere up for me, so I would just leave this. It's choppy, and that's the thing. You get into there and you end up getting triggered and stopped out in one bar. So I just don't trust. When prices like this, it is hard to trust it, really, isn't it? And I don't think that's a bad thing. So maybe there's a channel up there. It's not phenomenal at the moment. Sometimes with a bit of time. But there's a couple of people got it, so I may be wrong, but if Thomas Wade has got it, he's got an overshoot, so it's just a bit messy for me at the moment. So I'm just kind of taking it as it comes. How's it decorated? Yeah, not so bad. I thought I was just glad paint's on my hands. We've just got a wall. There's a big kind of open fireplace there, and there's two sections set back. I've just done one section at a time, so I've got one more coat from a roller to do in the one, which I'll do later. I've got to do about 3 or 4 hours apart. So I did it before I streamed. Did one this morning, and then I've got to start doing doors then. But the doors, they're old doors in this house. They're painted with gloss, so I've got to get some sandpaper and scotch them up a bit. You know, when you start doing these things and you wish you hadn't started. I don't mind, though. After Christmas, it's nice to have a bit of a fresh coat. We've painted it like something green colour. I can't see paint. I had it all over my hands earlier, but it's like a dark forest green, but it's just on that one wall. So, but it freshens it up, doesn't it, for spring? It's getting warmer now, isn't it? We'll be officially in spring in a couple of weeks, I think. The rollering I don't mind. It's the cutting in that fries my brain. I haven't got the steadiest of hands. So, I don't know what's going on here, but although it's messy, it does seem to be trying to continue up. Now, all of a sudden, this could change and the thing could absolutely tank because it's not moving up, you know, super strong for me. So, where's the move down? So, twice, well, 1, 2, 3 times we bounced off that 50% level, but we've pushed above it. Maybe this is just a bit of a fake out. I don't know. Just service my 2007 BM. Right mess. Absolutely covered. No, are you kidding? Oil's horrible stuff, isn't it? going back some years, I used to drive an oil tanker. And I used to drive up from where I live in Shropshire up to Stanlow Oil Refinery up towards Liverpool way, Chester way, just about 6 miles, 7 miles north of Chester. And Stanlow Oil Refinery is like one of the main oil refiners in the area. It supplies fuel to everywhere. And I used to go up there and pick oil up. And I used to drive around and depending on what kind, it was base oil I used to pick up. I just have me order, I'd pick up some base oil. And you'd walk down to the back of the tank, and you'd take the cap off, screw your pipe on, and open your lever, and then you'd hit the programming, would just spin it. Now, I'd done this 1,000 times. I'd worked for that company for 11 years, and for some reason, I shut the handle off, unscrewed the pipe, put the pipe back, and for some reason I walked back over to it and I opened the handle again. And there was, I think, about 29,000 litres of oil in that tanker. And as I opened it, a jet of oil hit me right in the bollocks, and it literally covered me in thick gunge. I don't know why I'd done it. Sometimes you do things without thinking about it, but the amount of pressure it came out took me breath away. And I ended up having a shower and putting some weird white jumpsuit on, looked like I just got out of prison. But you do some weird stuff. Another time, I would drive up to Chester and I would get on the motorway. I think it was the M53, and I would drive up that way. And it was an oil tanker, so it was an Arctic. And my unit, the tractor-trailer unit, was an automatic. And on occasion, if we were quiet with base oil, they would send me out on the smaller rigid vehicles on general delivery. And I think I went down to Kent. And from where I live, it's about a 9.5 hour drive there and back, because you had to do it in 10 hours. Otherwise, you'd have to stop. And I spent 9 hours driving with a manual gearbox, and I'm used to automatics. So the following day I got back in my tanker and I drove up to Chester, went north on the M53, and you get up to speed, you put your cruise control on, and then you just sit there and steer. But what I did is I got up to 56 miles an hour and I went to put it in 12th gear, which you would do in a manual, and it's automatic. So what I'd done is grab the handbrake and put the handbrake on. I just done it automatic. I've been driving so long, and all I remember is sliding all over the motorway. And I managed to hold it straight. I wasn't far off one of the, with the bridge flyovers of these great big solid bollards. If I'd have hit one of them, I'd have been in real trouble. But I remember sliding all over the motorway thinking, done it, anything, done it. And I managed to stop. And as I looked in my wing mirror, I saw cars pulling out literally sideways. They must have... and I managed not to hit anything. And I just embarrassed. But as I picked up my oil and came back down the motorway the other side, I saw massive black streaks up the motorway from where the tyres. I mean, I got away with that by the skin of my teeth, but I could have caused a major accident. But it just goes to show you, if I was driving a rigid, you put it in for 8th gear and then you put the cruise control on. But I hit the handbrake because the handbrake's the same place on the dash where the gearbox is for the rigid vehicle. So my arse was twitching, I tell you. I got to say, them things are hard to stop. I was empty, so I was weighing about 13.5 tons. When you're full, you're about 44 tons. You hit a vehicle, one of them, and they make a mess. You can barely get a scratch on yours and you can write a car off. So I did like that job though. You got no one breathing down your neck. You're just out doing your own thing. Take your breaks when you want to. I don't know what is going on here. Is it coming back down? Is it continuing on up? It's messy, isn't it? Let's just leave that alone, eh? What are you barking at? Sent me an email, have you? Oh, I'll sort it out after the stream, bud. Well, I usually go away and have my dinner. I'll come back later and I usually go through my chart. So I'll sort that out for you later, bud. I got it. Mark. Yeah, no worries, mate. Right, are we finally getting this moved down or what? Is this just 2 attempts? It's struggling. I can't see a nice looking channel. It's got no strength and no real character to it. It's weak in my opinion. So, at the moment, my gut feeling is this is likely to come lower, I think, certainly towards this area down here. Just based on what the daily is showing me and the move down throughout, you know, the early part of yesterday with that kind of correction, an attempt at a retest there. You can see it tried to go there, but then it dropped and it had another little go and that was it. Yeah, they just gave up and then it just came down. So this is a weak attempt to go in higher now. Who knows? Once it goes up so far, usually then it does kind of win over. But at the moment, I still don't think there's any type of a channel here. If there is, it's very weak, isn't it? I wouldn't be happy going long here at the moment. This for me is still a bit of an area where it could turn. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. I'll be 1 minute. Okay, so we got a channel down there with a break. Would I really trust this? There are sellers at 77 half, which is there. But then there are buyers at 73, which is there. Do I really want to short into some buyers? Trouble is, the tendency is to look for shorts here, but the trouble is the thing is slowly working up. As weak as it is, see what happens if it hits them sellers, which it has done now. So let's see if that creates anything. I got no arguments with the channel. There may be a small break there, but I think it's negligible. It may look completely different. No, I can't see an issue there. I don't know whether I trust it though. There may be a small break there and a new low. I don't know, who knows. It is still slowly working up. Buyers now at 75, so it is interesting. Buyers at the moment. So we had a channel with a break, new low, 2 pushes up, lower, high. Eventually it came down, not quite breaking the lows. We had a channel here with a 2 pushes up, couldn't get down. So it's not very predictable at the moment. It looks like this was going to continue down, then it really chopped messy and just took off. So I wouldn't trust a short here at the moment. It's just hard to know what's going on. Yeah, absolutely. There's no. It's very random, isn't it? It is slowly working up, but the moves are very random and hard to sort of have some confidence in. You know, ordinarily like this, we'd be looking for a short, and it may well come down, but you can really get yourself in trouble here. So you're best off just to leave it until it starts to get some sort of rhythm to it. Okay, as it's Friday, I'm going to just pour myself a quick single malt. I'll be 1 minute. Okay, cheers everyone. Happy Friday. Oh, this whiskey I've had for about a week nearly, I think. You're long on the NQ, are you? Yeah, I mean, it's certainly got an air of bullish to it, isn't it? Let me have a look. There's the NQ. Well, there's the, I don't know what chart you're using. That's the 1500 tick chart. What are you, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, something like that? Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the 5 minutes. That's the trouble with once you get onto the minute time frames. Look how much. Let's have a look. I've been experimenting again. We're trading the micro charts lower. Invisible. Yeah. I mean, the thing about these time charts, look how big some of the bars are. They're tinier, then they start. Whereas, look at this, they're very quite uniform. That, in fact, I mean, they're not too bad here, to be honest with you, but then all of a sudden, look at the size of them, they get random. Whereas if you look at the 2000 tick chart all day, the bars are very, very close together. So that makes your risk management much easier. Now, you know, Max says that the 2000 tick or the tick charts give you more information. I mean, I'm not, you know, I'm just a retail trader. I'm not, I don't pretend to know much about the mechanics. MNQ 250, for example, doesn't really matter, especially in the microsystems. Yeah. I mean, it's certainly given us that impression that things are going up. I mean, we got a bull bar there off the EMA. So, you know, everyone trades differently. Some traders wait for price. If you've got an uptrend, wait for price to get back to the EMA. I think when I first started trading currency, I think we had the 8, 13 and 21. If it broke through the 13 but didn't close below, or broke through the 8 but didn't close below the 13, we would buy. We would put our stop 6 bars back at the low and so on and so forth. But people trade kind of similar, don't they? You know, in an uptrend, the most obvious place to buy is when price has pullbacks. The 21 EMA is quite a common moving average to use, or people use simple, but it seems to be the 8, the 13, the 21 seems to be the most common. But it's certainly given us that impression, isn't it, that it's going up. And that's the 5 minute there. So a quick glance at the 2 minute. Yeah, it's still doing that. We've had a couple of legs up, a little bit of chop, but it does look like... The trouble is, when it's going up weak, it hasn't got no real backbone. Often it fails, and when it fails, it tends to fail monumentally. But it is going up, but there's so much sideways, and the trouble is when it's like this, it's got no real backbone, and a lot of the times you get into trades like this, this thing has a way of flushing down and clearing liquidity, because it's a lot easier to take out weak liquidity. But we flicker up a bit and have some chop, push up a bit, have some chop. But it's hard to trade this, certainly from a Pat's point of view. Lower you go, the smaller the bars get, the more crowded together, unless, yeah, let's have 11. Yeah. I'm still looking at, there are a few people who have, it doesn't look terrible. There's a few people with it. Thomas Wade's got it, but then he's got a small break or a possible overshoot. So people are tending to seem to favour towards the channel. The only reason I've probably held back is because I can't see it going up at that rate without having a real steep correction. So if you do that, looks like we've had a little break. So I'm just gonna, let's do that and just take the color out of it. So it just seems like noise. Yeah. Yeah. It's up sideways, messily. It's very weak, isn't it? We've had kind of a little double top. There, haven't we? You know, it's really interesting what I got out of. I'll show you again in case there wasn't anybody. There was a few people missing earlier. I asked ChatGPT about trading. I gave it a rough breakdown of my strategy and what I did and what chart I use. And I asked, why is trading difficult? And it gave me this, which makes perfect sense. How many times have I mentioned here in the last few months that since the end of November, trading got really difficult? And this is what it gave me. Why it feels hard right now. Since late November, ES has had stretches of overlapping daily candles, compressed ranges, failed breakouts, fast reversals intraday, no substantial directional legs. There's so much, and it gave me a ton of stuff. But when it goes sideways, 2000 ticks become micro fake trends, EMA flattening, pullbacks that don't follow through. That's what, I don't know how many times we get a pullback here and it just doesn't work as good as it used to do. Your edge doesn't disappear, it just gets fewer A+ opportunities. So that makes perfect sense. That's what we've all been saying. I had a conversation with Marco, a couple of chats with Marco, and he's been looking at some other chart as well. I think he said 5 minute. But then if you look since the end of November on the daily chart, there's the end of November. Look what's been going on. Chop, 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 chop. And we know the market's fractal. So if it's doing this on the daily, we're getting this same effect on the smaller charts. But look how smooth that was before throughout the year since kind of April. I believe that was when Trump came out with all the, well, I think the drop was when it was when he came out with the tariffs, all the talk about the tariffs, and then kind of look how quick it recovered. But it's much smoother movement, this. But then November, where things have got difficult, less trades, you can just see what's going on. So that at least gives us some light at the end of the tunnel. So it's interesting, really. The more I use these AI tools, the more I'm blown away. We chat with someone on here yesterday who uploads. I uploaded my chart actually, and it gave me some good feedback. In fact, I upload. You can only upload 2 a day, I think, on ChatGPT, and I just picked 2 of my trades. I marked 2 photos over the last few months, and it put them down as A+ setups. So, but it can give you a bit of support mentally as well. There's all sorts of stuff it can do. So now this is starting to look a bit weak. It almost looks like the market's waiting for something. I think really traders and investors, it seemed to be the last ditch attempts to avoid conflict yesterday with the talks with Iran that seem to fail, and I think the general consensus is the next thing that's going to happen is some kind of conflict, and that's obviously going to affect the markets in some way, obviously negatively, would have said, and certainly oil as well. But whether it is interesting to see how much of the days of this is because of things that are going on in the Middle East. And not only that, if you look on the daily, from an investor's point of view, do you really want to buy up here? Or do you want to wait for some kind of move? I mean, I think this was when Trump issued the tariffs, and then we had those big two moves back, and smart investors are buying down here, and look how well they did. This thing just, that's what I love about the S&P 500. I have a chunk of my pension in it. It gets affected with bad news, but look how quick it recovers. So smart investors are down here buying, which is, I think, why you're getting these swift movements up. But if you can get in with a chunk of change down here, but once it's going like this, is this the best time to buy? One, we know it's choppy. Yes, you could buy down here, but if this does kick off in the Middle East, it's bound to take a tumble. And if it does, that would be the time to buy. You would think around this area, so at least then you're capitalising on that move back up when things recover. Hopefully, with what goes on in Iran, won't last long. I think the US are probably going to do everything in their power not to sort of get involved in a long, drawn-out conflict. Something 2 or 3 weeks and maybe some stiffer negotiations would probably be better. But yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Ever since November, end of November, prices have chopped, and it's been difficult finding good setups. My patience is better than it's ever been, but if this had have happened a year and a half ago, I'd have got absolutely slaughtered. It's hard to trade this stuff, and it's boring as shit as well, isn't it? Time now, 4:15 UK time. 3:15, so we've had that in an hour. What's the ATR3? Okay, let's have a look at the range chart. That can clear up a lot of this. So let's go with the 15 tick. 15 tick range chart. Now, would this give us any setups? Triple test there. Move down there. 1, 2, 3. Triple test. I like that. You've got bull strap there, there, and there. And that worked. Triple test there. Just not a fan of that, though. Nothing really here. Sometimes this can clear stuff out, but look how neat it is. 2 complete legs and straight back to the EMA. Nothing you can really do here. Channel down. Sometimes this can clear things up. But at the moment, even this is looking messy. I found it difficult to find clear swings where you can enter on a clear signal bar. Yeah, I feel you, mate. I felt like it's like this since the end of November, and with what the daily's doing and what ChatGPT brought up, that makes sense, doesn't it? At least we've got a little bit of an explanation why things have been a little tough, and we know the market won't continue to go sideways forever. I've never traded for any type of a major incident. I think I was learning to trade at the back end of COVID, so I never experienced trading throughout COVID. Certainly not on a full-time level. I can't think of any type of area that I've traded through over the last 5 years. Apart from COVID, there hasn't really been anything. Obviously, the tariffs, that took a little bit of a drop, but it wasn't really a drawn-out scenario. It'll be interesting to see how, if Trump does decide to attack Iran, how that affects the price. This is boring as arse, isn't it? I expect a new tariff for Iran. I mean, things certainly have to change there, don't they? That's for certain. Even if it's for their own people. The government have been slaughtering their own people for... It's just for protesting. It's crazy. You can't let that happen. Not in the modern world, really. You know, I am a believer in you need to allow people to go about their own business, and governments as well, to a certain degree. But when they're slaughtering their own people, I don't think you can, in all good conscience, turn a blind eye to it. I think you have to do something about it. The Iranian people certainly want it. I think they're all for Trump helping them out. So, you know, by the sounds of things, I think I saw something on the news that popped up just before the stream that the US had said to any non-essential US citizens in Israel to leave immediately, so it doesn't sound like it's going to be too long, does it? I just hope he does it right and gets rid of the regime and hopefully gets things in Iran moving on to a better life for everybody. You with as minimal civilian loss of life as possible. Unfortunately, with that type of scenario, there's always going to be loss of life. It's just hopefully the good thing about a lot of these modern day weapons is they're super accurate, and it does reduce the risk of civilian casualties to a degree. Nothing's foolproof, of course, and it always seems to be the innocent. It's always the kids I feel sorry for. They seem to suffer the most. The real innocent ones. Obviously, the women, of course, the wives, mind you, are all wives innocent? I don't know, who knows? My wife can make my life miserable, so I shouldn't say that really, but no. What am I missing something? What's going on? What do you mean, mate? No. We're just talking about Iran, or I was talking about, sorry, mate, I was just waffling. They had the last kind of ditch attempts at negotiations yesterday, which seemed to fail. Trump put out an order earlier on, just before the stream, any non-essential US citizens in Israel to leave immediately. Obviously, Israel's going to be a hotbed, isn't it? Israel are obviously going to be involved. I think Israel want this to start. I believe Israel have been attacking some places yesterday, I believe. You need to get rid of the regime there. They're crucifying the citizens. You can't let that happen, really, not in all good conscience. And with these talks, they're not going to... The Iranians are right dodgy. Yeah. You can't, they're state-sponsored terrorists, which we know. You can't let people like that build themselves nuclear weapons. Crazy. Yeah, I don't think it'll be long by the sounds of things. Well, I think it's fair to say I haven't got a sodding clue what's going on at the moment. I don't really like that. This is just kind of a lot of random little moves. It's slowly working up. The trouble is, the slower it goes up, the quicker it comes down. So I wouldn't be surprised if this thing launches. You're going to have liquidity here, and here. I would be shocked if in the next, 15, 20 minutes, price hadn't come down to this level. We're certainly finding some kind of resistance, aren't we? So we got overnight lows. Would you consider that overnight lows? Maybe. This is certainly, you can see it here, can't you? Support and resistance. We seem to be, who knows? $10,000 tick chart isn't making anything clearer. It is slowly grinding, but it's also very much sideways, and that makes it weak and liable to a quick push down. Okay, folks, I think I'm going to leave it there for the day. I've done 2 hours now. I might come back for an hour later, but this is just boring as hell. It's hard to trade this stuff. It's just shopping sideways. So I'm going to go and have a little bit of dinner. I got another coat of paint to do on a wall. So it's been a quiet week, but at least we got an idea as to why now. Since things are just shopping around on the daily, so hopefully before long things just start to pick up. So yeah, you too, bud. So I'll sort that out for you later. I got your email. I'll sort that out for you later. So have a great weekend, guys. Stay safe. I'll be back on Monday, and hopefully I'll be interested to see what's happened over the weekend. Reference the Middle East. So I appreciate your company. If you carry on trading, be lucky. Stay safe. You take it easy, Ben, and we'll catch up Monday. Bye for now.